Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Atyantik Connect, a podcast where we share inspiring stories, innovative ideas, and moments that shape our life. I am your host, Lydia Thomas, Marketing Executive at Atyantik Technologies, and I am thrilled to start this journey with you. For our very first episode, we couldn't have asked for a better guest. Joining us today, our very first client who became our friend, Mr. Doug Johnson. Hi.
Hi.
He is an esteemed professional in RFID technology and also a holder of RFID Professional Institute Associate Certificate. Beyond his technical expertise, Mr. Johnson has a wealth of life experience that we are excited to uncover. In this episode, we will discuss his journey, the lessons he learned, and the way of his thinking and a unique perspective of his life. Whether you are tuning in for inspiration, innovative ideas, and a great conversation, you are in a perfect podcast. So let's dive in and connect with him with a remarkable insights of Mr. Doug. How much you're excited for this podcast?
I'm really excited. I haven't done a podcast in a long time, and I mean, here we are. We're going to make it happen.
Make it happen, yeah. You are living in USA.
Yes,
And you came here just 10 days before, maybe. I'm not wrong.
that's correct.
So how is your experience for living in India?
Oh, I love India. When I'm at home, I've got work that I have to do and lots of little bits and pieces. When I come here, everybody takes care of me, which I really like. But also, there's just so much going on. Everybody's moving and excited and making things happen, and it's a lot of energy for me. And I take that energy and I take it into other areas of my life. I really appreciate it.
First question, that can you tell us a little about your journey and what sparked your interest in RFID technology and shaped your career path?
How much of a journey do you want? You want to go back to, like, I was born a small child? Mm-hmm. Ooh, okay. But I spent a lot of time learning how to do things. So I was not an athletic child. Okay. And so when I would go out and play on the playground, I would get beat up. So rather than get beat up, I would go into the reading lab.
Okay.
And in the reading lab, I actually got to, further and further and further. So in 6th grade, I was actually reading in 11th grade. And so what happened was I learned how to learn then. If I could go find that bully, mm-hmm. I would have to thank him now, because basically if he hadn't beat me up, I probably wouldn't have learned how to learn as well as I have. But then I went to college, and where I went to college, that's where basic language was invented. Mm-hmm. So my first computer experience was doing programming mm-hmm. on a teletype. No screen. Oh. It would print out things on a piece of paper. And I actually got a citation in physics for a program that I wrote. Mm-hmm. Then I didn't do anything else with it. Okay. When I graduated, I became a radio announcer. Oh. I was a radio announcer for 11 years. And then I stopped doing that because it's just kind of silly. Can you imagine being 28 years old and you're telling people the song you just played and what time it was? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's not real deep. So I stopped doing that, and I started selling computers. Oh. That's right. Now, this is back in the days when nobody knew much about personal computers. Mm-hmm. My first job was selling Apple II and Apple III computers. Oh. The Apple Lisa, which I'm sure you've never heard of. No. Right? Exactly. I did the rollout training for that. It's just that was the first personal computer that had a mouse. So I've been at this for a little while.
Okay. Which year?
1982. 1981 and 1982. Yes. It's funny, I'll go to conferences, software conferences, and people will say, well, how long have you been at this? And I'll say, well, since 1982. And they'll go, I wasn't even born yet. So I've been at this a little while. Okay. So started programming, had my own business, then doing software consulting for accounting software. Mm-hmm. Did that for a while, sold that business. Okay. And then I went to work for the guy who bought me, and didn't like that. Didn't like working for other people. Mm-hmm. So after 3 years, I went and I managed a medical practice for a while. And then when that was over, I went back to software again.
You explored so much.
Oh, well, I said I've actually had multiple careers. I've worked in restaurants, both the front and the back. I've been a professional photographer. I've done different things. I always tell people it's not that I'm talented, it's just that I can't focus very well sometimes. So, and eventually, while I was working for a company doing software for medical practices that also sold glasses, Walmart decided that they wanted to put RFID tags on every single pallet that was in their warehouse. And I read about this technology and I thought, oh, that would be great for glasses. You know, because it's really hard to do inventory with glasses. You have to go around and, shoot each one, right? Yeah. But then I found out that the tags that Walmart had were this big. So you can imagine having a really big tag hanging off glasses that just wasn't going to work.
Yeah, true.
So about 5 or 6, maybe 7 years after that, the tags got to be small. And so I called my friend Darla, who is the CEO of our company, but we had worked together before, and I said, I've got an idea for a product we could make. Are you interested in working with me? And ever since then, we've been working on Wave RFID to go ahead and make a company that's good for our clients and good for us, hopefully.
Yep.
So when we went to do that, I'm a programmer.
Okay.
But we knew that I couldn't be the only programmer. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I was looking for somebody who could, that I could outsource this to, that I could talk to. And I called a bunch of different companies. I talked to a number of different companies here in India, lots of different places. But the problem was that they would have they'd have a program manager, but I couldn't talk directly to the programmers.
Oh.
I could only talk with the program manager. And then they could switch in anybody they wanted and all that. But that wouldn't work for us because we were making it up. We were trying to figure out how to do this. We wanted to be a really agile company, a company where we try and figure out how to make it work, and some things would work and some things wouldn't. And well, it turns out that the CEO of Atyantik, now AJ, he and I had been talking back and forth on LinkedIn in one of the groups. And so I contacted him. I said, I'm trying to find a company who can do this work for us, and can you make a recommendation? And he says, well, as a matter of fact, my friend Tirth and I have just started a company. And so that's how we became your very first client, because we needed somebody where we could actually have a team that we could build over a period of time. And so now we've been working together, somewhere between 7 and 10 years now.
8 years.
8 years. I'd have to go back and look at it, but over that period of time, yes, there have been people that have come in and out, but we've always been able to work as a team with Atyantik, as opposed to client, go fix it for us, give it to, so we've actually managed to build something really good.
There's a personal touch with Atyantik.
Exactly, yes. And that's one of the reasons why I come here, is it gives me a chance to really spend time with everybody that we wouldn't get to do otherwise.
Thank you. What was life like when you started your career?
I had a rocky childhood. My mother says that I was a great kid up until about I turned 16, and then I became a rebel. And so we at the time that I was going to college, and after that, I was not in great contact with my parents. So I didn't listen to what they said anyway, so it didn't much matter. And remember, I was a disc jockey for all that time, so I was kind of fooling around, if you will. So by the time I actually got to this career, I was already 28, 29, and I pretty much on my own at that point. Got married shortly after that, and became an adult, sort of, kind of, a little bit. And so it really was a matter of, I've always kind of had a business of my own, and so it was just one more business that fortunately turns out I have a knack for. I enjoy it. So.
Thank you. Who were your biggest mentors in your journey? Like, who inspires you the most?
When I was selling computers, I had a boss who taught me a lot about how selling works, how to go ahead and help people buy things. You can't just sort of put it out there and hope they'll show up and give you money. Particularly in our technical field, because at the time, people didn't understand much about how personal computers worked. It was a brand new thing. So I learned a lot about how to go ahead and listen to people, how to go ahead and find out what their needs were, and then help them to make the decision that we could help them fix those things. Okay. And so by taking that information from him, I was then able, once I moved away from them to have my own business, I could then go into a small business, talk to the small business owner, find out what their problems were, help them to solve those problems, and they became a client. And then I'd go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And so that was probably one of my earliest mentors who really gave me information that has carried me through till today.
Okay. How do you define your success?
Probably in the beginning, I would say that probably my biggest definition of success for me is that I'm interested. And I'm not going to tell you that that's the best definition, but I have found that if I'm not interested in what I'm doing, I won't do it. There are people who are very disciplined, and they lay out their goals, and they can step by step by step, and boy, I admire that. I can't do it, but I admire it. In my case, I have to like what I'm doing. And if I like what I'm doing and I can figure out a way to make money with it, then I can live okay. Nowadays, I pretty much define success the same way Paul does. There is a book in the Bible by St. Paul, and he says, I have learned to be content, whether I have much or whether I have little. Yeah. And so for me, success now is being content with what I have, but not being lazy, not being so content that I never actually do any more work. Okay. So it's like content, but not complacent. So.
Okay. Do you think that you have reached the success or the way more you have to achieve?
See, there's always something more. It's like, I feel like I'm successful. I mean, my family eats, my dog is happy. Yeah. You know, I'm not hurting for money. So I'm content. I like my life. But we have clients that have needs. We have things that need fixing. We have a company that's growing. We have employees that we're hiring, that we're taking care of. We have all kinds of things to do that are interesting. And so there's always one more step. And so I don't think I think if you reach success, you're no longer successful. Success is a journey. Sure. And you just keep on walking or running sometimes. And every now and then tripping down the stairs.
What habits or practice have helped you to stay grounded through life highs and lows?
Two things. Number one, you said the word habits, and actually that is the key. Every morning, I have certain things that I do. I get up, I have a glass of water, I read my scriptures, I have my coffee, I plan my day. Before I did that, I would wake up and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So I started going ahead and making sure that I had habits small things that would lead me to success. I got this there's a book called Atomic Habits, well worth reading. I recommend it to anybody. But basically, just having habits that will lead you step by step by step by step by step to the big success, rather than trying to get the big inspiration to go. Right? And then the second thing is, I always want to be learning something new. People ask me all the time, how do you stay current? I mean, at any given conference, I am the oldest guy there. And I'm talking to software developers who are in their 20s and their 30s, and they're all like, this old guy, he can't know anything. And then they find out that I actually am just as current as they are, because I'm always learning something new. Even since coming here, we'd have some conversations, and I started looking at a new JavaScript framework, and looked at a new website for Google Flutter, just since getting here. So it's just, you always have to be open to learning new things and being willing to stay current. People ask me all the time, I see it. They're going, am I too old to get started in software? And I tell them, you know, I'm 72. I think you'll be okay.
Can you share a moment when you faced a significant challenge that you have overcome?
Shortly after college, I was really depressed. I have a degree in philosophy.
Okay.
And you can imagine that there are not a whole lot of jobs for a guy with a degree in philosophy. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Didn't really have any direction. And I just I wasn't going anywhere.
Okay.
So I just kind of floated along for a while. And eventually, I got tired of that. And that's actually when I went ahead and started working as a radio announcer. I'd done some of that in college, but then I got a job and I got better at it. And so I was able to at least have something that I was moving towards every day for a while. It's not what I ended up doing, obviously, in the long run, but it was better than, during that period of time, I managed a hotel. I drove a truck delivering beds. I mean, just lots of dumb little jobs that, you know, put food on the table barely. Manager of a craft shop. I mean, just dumb things that got me through, but really weren't moving towards anything. And so I would say that was probably the hardest time overall. It's the poorest I've ever been.
If you could go back in time, is there anything you would do differently, like in past?
Well, I'll tell you what. If I could go back in time, the reason why I'm where I am now is because of everything that's happened before. So honestly, I wouldn't necessarily go back and change anything because you might not like where you got. Okay. You always read these books where they go back in time and they change some little thing and their whole life falls apart. You know, so, but I understand the question. And a dumb answer would be, I wish the first time that I had thought about Bitcoin, first time I heard about Bitcoin and I thought, that's pretty cool. Didn't really interest me. Remember I told you, if it doesn't interest me, I don't really follow up on it. But it was Bitcoin at that point was $26.
Okay.
Now imagine that I had put $1,000 into Bitcoin when it was $26. Nothing personal, but we probably wouldn't be talking right now because I'd be a multi-millionaire, right?
True.
So if I could change that one, boy, you know, the biggest thing I would say is I wish I had taken some engineering in college because I found out I actually went to school that had a good engineering school. I could have taken some engineering just as a little side thing. I just didn't do it. And I would have found out that I had a knack for it earlier. It took me 12, 14 years to find out that I had a knack for solving problems this way, the logical stuff. I didn't know that. Okay. And so it would have gotten me started earlier. But then I might not have met my wife, so, you know, you don't know.
So it was love marriage. So it was a love marriage.
Yes. Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah. We don't do it. The U.S. doesn't do much with arranged marriages. Huh?
Arranged marriage is scary. No, we don't know that person is the same all the time.
Right.
We are just guessing.
Right.
Just flipping the coin if it is good or bad.
But that's true of anybody. The reality is I'm not the same person that I was 44 years ago.
Yeah.
I hope I'm a better person than I was 44 years ago. But same thing with my wife. I mean, everybody's going to change over the period of time. So if you get married because they're your soulmate and you're in love and all that, well, in about 2 or 3 years, that's going to kind of fade. And if that's the only thing you had going for you, it's not going to work out. Whereas here, yes, it's arranged, but by the same token, you're committed to each other.
Yeah.
And so over a period of time, love can grow and your relationship can grow. Again, it was just I irritate my wife. I know that comes as a surprise. Okay. But every now and then she would say, well, why do you love me? And I always told her, because I choose to. And she's going, that's not romantic. And I went, no, it's not romantic. But by the same token, that's my choice. And because I made the choice, I can stay with that choice. I might not like her today, but I'm going to still love her and stay with her because that's my choice. So she's finally going, yeah, all right, I guess that's okay. She wants to, because you're beautiful and you're sexy, and that's what she wants to hear.
That's true.
But the answer is
Actually, girl wants to hear some compliment.
I know,
He's admiring
and
my
I
beauty.
do that. I'm not that bad. But the answer is I stay with her because I decided to. I said that I was going to do this, and I stand by my word. And so, 44 years later, we're still together.
Okay. There's a quote that behind every successful man there is a woman. Like, any quality you liked in her, like, yeah, she's the one for me.
We decided to get married, but we really started to work as a team when we had our first business. There was a period of time when everybody had these weird titles. They were, chief excitement officer, that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of really. So we had our company. I said, we need fun titles.
Okay.
And she went, well, all right, fine. What's yours going to be? And I said, well, mine will be Master of Change.
Nice.
So there you go, because that's what I do. I go into a company, find it, and I change things. Master of Change. And so I said, so what's yours going to be? And she went, I'm Chief Reality Check. And she is. She looks at the situation and she's going, you know what? That's probably not going to work. That's probably a dumb idea. You have to understand, I do all kinds of things that are kind of crazy. And so she is more grounded than I am. And that gives us a really nice balance that we wouldn't have. If she was crazy and I was crazy, we'd probably be living under a bridge somewhere, maybe happy, but we wouldn't have what we have now.
That's nice. What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness for me is having something to do, something to hope for. It's a classic.
You're very workaholic, no? You're very workaholic.
Oh yeah, I should be retired. That's not gonna, right? I mean, come on.
No, I don't think so. What are some of your fondest memories from your childhood?
I actually, every summer, I went to a camp, and it was up in the North Woods of Canada, and we would be there for 8 weeks. It was a boys' camp, and I learned most of the things that I know how to do that are like sailing and canoeing and swimming and all that. I learned all of those things there, and so those summers were probably the best part of my childhood. I liked it so much that I became a junior staff member and then a senior. I actually ended up going up to that camp for 25 years.
My God.
So I know, but it's a fun thing to do. If you like camping at all, it was quite an experience. So.
Okay. What is that memory that you want to relive? Like relive that memory?
I actually don't think I've got any of those. This is a difference between my wife and I. She's always thinking about things that happened before, and she's worried about things in the future. And I'm like, I'm right here.
Past is past.
The past is past. There's nothing I can do about it. The future is future, and I can't control it, but I can set up for it. But I really like enjoying where I am right now. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy coming here. I come here, and while I'm waiting for somebody to pick me up, I just sit there and I watch traffic go by. And there's so many people, and it's noisy, and I think about this person, and they're looking so intense on their scooter, and I'm going, I wonder where they're going. And I just, but I just try and enjoy the moment where I am. And so yes, I do plan for the future, and I learn, so that I can be ready for the future. But I'm not waiting for the future to enjoy my life, and I'm not letting the things that happened in the past, either good or bad, it's gone. It's there. It got me to where I am, but
so you're happy that where you are now.
I like being right here. I'm enjoying this right now. It's like, so it's just, for me, it's a good way to live.
Okay. How do you view the intersection of technology and humanity?
We have always had tools. Technology is just an incredible tool. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. It's just the way it is. But it's only a tool. And for me, again, I'm real big on, I like to solve problems. I see a problem, see a pain point, see something. And for me, technology is like one of the best tools for well, maybe not easily, but quickly anyway, solving problems. We don't have to build a big machine to go ahead and do stuff. We can go ahead and program some lines of code. Next thing you know, that problem's gone away. And we can go ahead and move on to the next one. So I think it's a very valuable tool. In general, I believe that most people will use it for good. There are going to be greedy people that are going to go ahead and use it for evil, and hopefully they won't dominate. But technology is not the problem. People are the problem. I mean, it's like a good person can make stuff happen with nothing, and a bad person can make bad stuff happen with nothing.
Yeah. It's like, do you think that artificial intelligence is good for us? Like,
I enjoy using it. It speeds up my programming and answers questions quickly for me when I need some information. I don't think it's going to go ahead and destroy our lives like some people do. I don't think it's going to go ahead and totally revolutionize the universe. I just think it's going to be a better version of the tools that we have now. But what do I know?
So it's a good thing for you.
It's been a very good thing. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I don't like it enough to want to program in it though. I'd make a lot more money if I was interested in artificial intelligence, security, big data, all of the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
None of those things interest me. I like helping small businesses. Well, I'd make a lot more money if I was interested in these, but I'm not.
Okay. So what are the most striking changes you have seen in society or technology?
At my college, there was a professor that was doing music using a computer with a paper tape. So basically it's like a punch tape. It would run through. That's how he made electronic music.
That's nice.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, it was really, really, I mean, it's like the old punch cards that they used to go ahead and run through machines. In fact, in college, I had a job sorting punch cards for banks. So going from punch cards to where we now have got a supercomputer in our pocket. I mean, that's a huge change. You can say what you like. I mean, watching people walk around like this all the time, it's a little sad. You know, look up, look around. There's a lot to do. But by the same token, you've got access to so much information, the world around, in your hand, that it's really exciting. If you think about what we do with knowledge, what we do with information, is what makes humans what they are. I mean, we can take little bits and pieces of information, put them together in a new way, and solve problems. Well, now we've got access to information anywhere in the world. Before, if you wanted to look up something in a library when I was in high school, you had to go down to the library, and there would be this wall of shelves, and you'd have to pull out the shelves and go through all the card catalog and the whole to find stuff. Now you just punch it into Google or Perplexity or something and ask the question with your voice, and it pops up, and you're like, oh. I mean, information is just right there. Now, what we choose to do with that information, that's the important part. But the fact is, we've got a tool that can give us access to literally any information in the world.
So with just one click.
With one click?
Yeah. What is that one behavior you like in a person, like in general?
I like people who are flexible. People who can accept people where they are and can learn to enjoy people the way they are.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that's like, I don't like you because blah, 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 blah. And they don't even know you. It's like, I want people to go ahead and be open-minded to the other people that they're around. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. And most people don't fit in that little box where you think they ought to fit. So just let the person that you're with be themselves and find out, more about them and get to find out those good things that are in the person you're talking to.
It sounds like me, I guess.
There you
I'm
are.
perfect.
Well, exactly. You're perfect. Who knew? Okay. But yeah, but again, you like asking questions. You like finding out about people. You're not saying, well, he's an old guy. I'm not going to talk to him because he's just, what could he know? Blah, blah, blah. No, you're going, well, let's ask him some questions. All right. And see what, and then you find out, yeah, he's an old guy. He doesn't know much. But that's a whole different thing.
No, actually, we have more age gap. I am just 21.
Oh, there you go.
I want to learn something new.
But
It's more exciting.
Right. But see, but a lot of people your age would be going, I'm not going to listen to that old guy because what can he possibly know about my life? I'm just saying. So I like people who are open to learning from whoever they're with. I'm learning from you. You might learn something from me.
For sure.
Might be a bad thing, but
The thing I like about you, like you're very much jolly. You spread happiness where you are.
I do.
Actually, it's the best thing.
Why be unhappy? There are times that I'm not saying I'm never sad. I mean, obviously bad things happen and you're sad. But the thing is, most of the time, life is pretty good. And you can usually find something to be either happy about or to laugh at or to just get some joy out of. And yeah, I like doing that.
And that's a wrap up for our very first episode of Atyantik Connect. A heartfelt thank you to Mr. Doug Johnson for sharing his unique perspective of life. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. And we would love to hear your feedback, so please drop us a comment or any suggestion for any topic that you would like to hear from us. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired and stay connected. This is Lydia Thomas signing off from Atyantik Connect. See you soon.